Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday morning at Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist Church. We're so happy to see you all here. It is so nice. The weather continues to cool down. Always very nice. We have a very interesting and I hope enjoyable and fun service today. Most of you know me. I am the music director here at Mountain Vista. I'm Chris Tackett. The Reverend Matthew Funk Crary is enjoying a well-earned day off and still under doctor's orders to stay seated and to stay down as much as possible as his leg continues to heal. He's doing real well, and the recovery is coming right along, so he'll be back to running around in no time at all. I teased him last week, says he'll be back to running marathons in no time at all, and he said, I don't do that. Wanted to say a very happy new year since Rosh Hashanah starts tomorrow night at sundown. Also want to say thank you to Stephanie, our administrative assistant, and Stacy, our religious education coordinator, who is back in the nest with all of our wonderful children. You're going to love, as you always do, the Reverend Linda Logan, who will be speaking for us in a little bit here. She's got some wonderful things and a really great message for you this morning. As always, thanks to our tech people, Lee, Ann, Chuck, and Dan, who help bring us to people outside the room. They help keep our beautiful screens running. That is a lot of pink, isn't it? Oh well. Thank you to them, and thank you to them who keep our broadcasting via Zoom and help make our services available on YouTube afterwards. So thank you all. Also, an enormous thank you to Joel Yelland, who helps lead our singing and who helps with his crew of people, wonderful crew of people, make sure that there's coffee and a little nibble for us after each service. And thank you, Joel. I feel like there was something else I was supposed to say. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. It's wonderful to see you all this morning. Yes, as always, a welcome to everybody online, whether you're watching now or if you're one of the people watching us via our YouTube connection later. We're glad you're here. So, everybody, quick, can we do this fast? Ready, and keep it moving. I have to play first. I get to play first.
Good morning. I never use this title usually, the Reverend Dr. Linda Logan. It doesn't fit me all the time, but that's who I am. What we're going to do now is to light the chalice. I don't like to do it because I'm afraid of the flame. However, I should not be afraid of the flame because it is something so important here. It is something that lets us know where we are and that we're in a safe place. When that's lit, then we know that everything is watching and being there for us. And so as we light it, a reading called The Persistent Flame by Amy G.S.A. Brooks. Even as the days grow shorter and our homes shrink smaller and our wicks burn lower and our will to endure flickers, a lit candle in a jar on the sill of an open window, we light this chalice to kindle a flame of warmth as a reminder of the connection that draws us into a community that opens us up. In gratitude for the breath in our lungs and the love in our hearts, for the gift of this day.
Good morning. I'm Tom Sawyer. You can make jokes if you don't know me already. I'm here to talk about ICS, which is our Woven Basket Charity of the Month. As you know, we have a wooden bowl for the operations of the church for donations, and we also have a charity that we pick every month, and this month is Interfaith Community Services. So why am I talking about Interfaith Community Services? Is because I volunteer there. And Reverend Matthew has asked me to talk about my experience. So let me give you, first of all, a very brief description of what ICS does, if you don't know already. It's a nonprofit here that's supported by over 120 churches and other organizations that offers a wide variety of services to help seniors and individuals with disabilities and people in financial crisis to achieve stability. Their programs include food assistance, help with rent and utilities, transportation, job counseling, support for single mothers trying to improve their education, and other services such as helping shut-ins with repair work on their homes and things like that. So it's a very broad array. I think there are 11 programs there. ICS collaborates with a number of other organizations here in town, but it's largely a volunteer organization. They do have a staff, but it's largely a volunteer organization. And so when I came to a place where my roles here diminished, which I was ready for, being a former board president and PA and so forth, I decided that I wanted to do some volunteer work here in town. So I chose them and signed up to be a volunteer. Now it takes a while. You have to go through quite an elaborate vetting process, including fingerprinting. I was a little nervous about being fingerprinted in case my picture on the post office wall became relevant, but it didn't. So I volunteered in 3 different ways. First of all, I volunteered to do job counseling. And then I also volunteered to deliver food assistance, and Katie was my comrade in arms there at the food bank. And then I also take people to medical appointments that don't drive. So those are the 3 primary things that I've done. So Reverend Matthew asked me to talk about, kind of my experience. And so I was remembering this morning when I was delivering in July. I deliver food two times a week to a group of people, different people that on my route. I have a regular route of about 4 people that I deliver to on 2 different nights. And so in July, I believe it was the hottest day of the year, we were picking groceries up at the food bank at 5 o'clock in the middle of traffic. It was 112 degrees, and I was picking food up, and I was going, oh, geez, this is going to be quite an ordeal. And it was, to deliver groceries. And it turned out I had 2 new people on my route that day, and one was a woman who lived upstairs without an elevator, and I was carrying 50-pound bags of groceries to her. So believe me, it was quite a time when I was going, do I want to keep doing this? But then you have these experiences where you get to know the people on your route. You get to know Larry, who was an elderly black man who was bedridden, and you knew that him getting groceries was essential for him to stay alive. Unfortunately, he passed away. I delivered groceries to him for 2 years, and then he passed away. There's Judy, who became my Southern Belle, this woman who just was delightful. She always welcomed me so wonderfully. It was always interesting when you first go to the door and you knock on the door, and of course you let them know you're coming, but it's always interesting because the first time you meet them, they think you're a bill collector. They're always a little bit like, who are you? And then you deliver them groceries, and then over time you get to know them, and they become literally part of it, almost like an extended family. I've gotten to know many of these people on a personal level, and I so enjoy seeing them and checking up on them. And I feel obviously very grateful. When you go to their homes and you see how they live, boy, it opens your eyes. I don't know, we talk about social justice and we talk about the social safety net, but it becomes very personal when you meet people who live on the margin of society. And boy, these people do. They certainly do. Some of them live in homes that you wouldn't even imagine anybody could live in. Many of them are hoarders. Some of them have mental illnesses. Many of them have many physical disabilities. And boy, I tell you, even though it's hard some days to deal with the traffic at 5:30 at night in the middle of the summer, I tell you, the reward is beyond imagination. So think about donating what you can. Think about also that they need volunteers. If anybody is interested, please see me after the service. Thanks.
Thank you, Tom. We're going to sing in just a moment, but I was going to step over here. Thank you. I always forget to, when I lead the service, I always forget to close those doors. I love the laughter of the children. In my line of work, I have worked in many places, and there are those places where you can hear the laughter of children, and it's wonderful. And there are those places when you don't hear the laughter of children. I tend not to stay at those churches long because those churches tend not to exist for long. So we are so fortunate, first of all, to have Stacy, and second of all, to have such an active children's group here. Opening song, out of the Gray Hymnal. It's number 360. And would you join us in singing? Of course, the words will be on the screen as they always are. Rise as you see fit and join us in singing.
Side by side, circle of kinship, come and step inside. May all who seek here find a kindly word. May small and great, we of all ages, women, children, men, infants and sages, sharing what we can, sing now together this our heart's own song. Life has its battles, sorrow and regret, but in the shadows let us not forget. We who now gather know each other's pain. Kindness can heal us as we give, we gain. Sing now in friendship this our heart's own song.
I'd like for you to just get quiet and relax right now. This is a time of contemplation, a time to think about what's going on in the world. You know, sometimes we don't want to address what's happening, and I think that's a big mistake. I think we need to talk about it. I think we need to see what's happening. And as I worked on this last night, what came to me, and I kept thinking, what am I going to talk about? This is not the main talk, but what I came to realize was that there's some things that need to be addressed. Things are happening in this country now that I would never have believed could happen here. Living in America as an African American woman, I have experienced many periods throughout history that were marked by hatred and division. Yet the current state of our society feels particularly overwhelming and deeply painful. Every day, the news seems to bring reports of increasing cruelty and unkindness. And I find myself in disbelief at just how much more hurtful the world appears to have become. It is a struggle to understand how we have reached this point. While I have witnessed acts of inhumanity before, I never fully believed that people could treat one another with such deplorable disregard. This reluctance to accept the reality of our situation, this cognitive dissonance, has become a heavy burden to carry. As I reflect on these troubling times, I realize that my own inattentiveness to the gradual erosion of kindness may have played a part in our present condition. This realization leaves me feeling partially responsible for the world as it is now. Faced with these challenges, and I feel personal obligation to advocate for the well-being of all sentient beings. I believe it is my duty to embody compassion, love, and respect for all life, holding these as the highest expressions of human strength. Wherever I go, I am determined to offer unconditional love and support in every way that I can. I refuse to allow love to vanish from our lives. Together, we must commit ourselves to keeping love alive. This is my labor of love. In all that's going on, I have discovered that there is a kryptonite for all of these things that are happening. It is the fact of our coming together, of our caring and loving for each other. This is exactly what they don't want us to do. So in every way that you can, come together. I watch people go out and they're doing the protests, and I'm so proud of my friends who do all of that. But there's an everyday thing that you need to do upon meeting people wherever you are, at Trader Joe's, wherever you are at the gas station, and greeting them with a smile and with a reassurance. If you see someone who needs help with even the smallest thing, reach out and do that. And thank those who do it for you. I always love when I go somewhere and someone sees that, mainly it's me in the plastic bags trying to get them open at the store. And someone will come up and say, here, let me do that for you. And I realize that love is alive, because that is an act of caring. So if you and I, if you are willing to join me, share the responsibility of healing this world. Today, I will seize the opportunity to demonstrate my care and love for the well-being of all beings. I am convinced that caring is the remedy for the problems that our world faces. And so, whether you are black, white, Asian, Indian, straight, gay, trans, male, female, or however you identify, remember that united we stand and divided we fall. Let us keep love alive. This morning I'm going to do a reading that Summer, who is what I call our wrangler for the PAs, seems to have the ability to find some of the most beautiful writings that there are for us to use. And a lot of times I like to choose my own, but because she always does such a good job, I don't do that anymore. I just say, okay, whatever you choose, I know it's gonna work for whatever I want to do. And now I gotta find it again. Wait a minute. A lot of papers up here. Just a minute. This writing is about listening. And I find that part of the problem in this world is that we don't listen to each other. We don't listen on a deep level. We don't listen we pass things up. Someone said something to me last week, and I gave a perfunctory, oh yeah, right. And I never even knew what they said. And I went back to them later and I said, I sort of just passed you off. I said, because I didn't really hear what you had to say. And they informed me that, well, they had forgotten already what it was. And perhaps it was an act of old age. But the thing was that I realized that how much information have I lost by not listening, by not allowing people to really say what they have to say. to understand where they're coming from with everything. And I'm still not finding that reading. Give it to me. Thank you. Quickly. Quickly. Thank you. There it goes.
Believe me, I understand papers.
Yeah, got a lot of paper up here. All right, and it's called, it's by Valerie Kaur, and she says, deep listening is an act of surrender. We risk being changed by what we hear. When I really want to hear another person's story, I try to leave my preconceptions at the door and draw close to their telling. I am always partially listening to the thoughts in my own head when others are speaking. So I consciously quiet my thoughts and begin to listen with my senses. Empathy is cognitive and emotional. To inhabit another person's view of the world is to feel the world with them. But I also know that it's okay if I don't feel very much for them at all. I just need to feel safe enough to stay curious. The most critical part of listening is asking, what is at stake for the other person? I try to understand what matters to them, not what I think matters. Sometimes I start to lose myself in their story, and as soon as I notice being unmoored, I try to pull myself back into my body like returning home. As Hannah Arendt says, one trains one's imagination to go visiting. When the story is done, we must return to our skin, our own worldview, and notice how we have been changed by our visit. So I ask myself, what is this story demanding of me? What will I do now that I know this? Every encounter you have with someone, every time someone speaks to you, know that you're going to be changed. And be willing to do that, because that's what we're here to do, is to grow and become. What did they just say? What do they need? Where am I able to help this person to achieve their goals? Because after all, that's what we're here to do, is to help each other to do that. Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
You saved my life.
It really does take a village some
Takes
days.
a village.
Absolutely.
Definitely takes a village.
This morning is our bi-monthly. We are taking a time to share out loud and individually all of our joys and sorrows. And this morning we're going to start that process with a song from our Teal hymnal, the one we call the Teal hymnal, singing The Journey. Well, you beat me to it. It's number 1008. We're singing chorus, verse 1, chorus, verse 2, and then chorus again. But you know, you don't have to remember any of that business. It's all on the screens. Would you rise with us as you are able and join us in singing When Our Heart is in a Holy Place?
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place. When we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. Then our heart is in a holy place. Then our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place.
As I mentioned earlier, Monday begins Rosh Hashanah. It is the celebration, the start of the new Hebrew year of 5786. So once again, Happy New Year, or L'Shana Tovah, if you want to say it in Hebrew. The shofar is sounded, special prayers and rituals are done, and it's a call to all people of the Jewish faith to return, rededicate their lives and their purpose to the highest goals and aspirations. You know, basic New Year's stuff. Truth be told, though, there are New Years in one culture or another almost every week. To say nothing of fiscal New Years, which frankly can be whenever you want them to be. You don't have to wait a whole year to start that new plan or that new diet or rededicate your own life to healing yourself and your world. Make up your mind and do it. UU Minister Victoria Safford, currently serving the White Bear UU Church in St. Paul, Minnesota, has written a poem that has shown up in a couple of different Jewish prayer books for this time of year. And I tell you, working in both places, it's always fun to see a UU pop up in unexpected places. She uses the imagery of gates, a common image in the High Holy Days liturgy. The gates open on Rosh Hashanah, and the gates close on Yom Kippur. And of course, these are not literal gates. There's no park or there's no place where gates open and close. But these are the gates of repentance and the gates of compassion. And some even consider them the very gates of heaven themselves, heaven itself. But again, not physical gates. These are the spaces created by our own actions, our own prayers, and our commitment to our community around us. One can't just passively stand at these gates. You have to make a choice and enter in with your deeds and your words and your actions. And I've asked Linda to read the poem by Victoria Safford.
Our mission is to plant ourselves at the gates of hope, not the prudent gates of optimism, which are somewhat narrower, not the stalwart, boring gates of common sense, not the strident gates of self-righteousness, which creak on shrill and angry hinges. People cannot hear us there. They cannot pass through. Nor the cheerful, flimsy garden gate of everything's gonna be all right. But a different, sometimes lonely place, the place of truth-telling about your own soul, first of all, and its condition. The place of resistance and defiance. The piece of ground from which you see the world, both as it is and as it could be, as it will be. The place from which you glimpse not only struggle, but the joy of the struggle. And we stand there beckoning and calling, telling people what we see, and asking people what they see.
Thank you, Linda. one more song to sing this morning in the gray hymnal. Number 112, Do You Hear? And I will ask you to stand for this. Did I mention that choir practice is Wednesday night, 6:30, right here? So if you enjoy singing and me telling you to stand up or sit down, you can come and join us on Wednesday evenings. Number 112, Do You Hear? And as always, on the screens.
Do you hear, oh my friend, in the place where you stand, through the sky, through the land? Do you hear, in the heights on the plain, in the vale on the main, in the sun, in the rain? Do you hear? Through the roar, through the rush, through the throng, through the crush, do you hear in the hush of your soul, in the cry, fear won't still, hear the heart's call to will, hear a star's startling trill in your soul, from the place where you stand, to the outermost strand. Do you hear, oh my friend? Do you hear? All the dreams, all the dares, all the sighs, all the prayers, they are yours, mine and theirs. Do you hear? Do you hear?
I love to hear you guys sing. That is so wonderful. And an enormous thank you to Joel for helping you sing along the way. We have come to the time for announcements. The future is happening. We want to keep you informed about the many opportunities for you to get involved in transformative moments and transformative actions of love, such as Cafe Justo. MVUU offers Cafe Justo for sale as a delicious social justice project on the first and third Sundays of each month. Sparked by the hopeful ideas of one migrant in a time of despair, Cafe Justo, or Just Coffee, has grown to become a sustainable, small-scale international coffee cooperative driven by providing pure, organic coffee in the spirit of justice. The price is just $14 a pound, and we have grounds and whole bean packages in caffeinated, decaf, and half blends. Take home some and taste the wonderful flavor that we serve here. The children in our congregation have decided to partner again with our friends at the Humane Society of Southern Arizona and are inviting all of us to join them. Through this month, we will be collecting donations for them. All donations will be collected here at MVUU and will be taken to the Humane Society. In addition to the donations, we will also be helping to pack food for their pet food pantry program in October. We hope you will consider helping our pets in need by donating and joining us for our service project. Please talk with Ms. Stacy, our coordinator of religious exploration, for more details. Our Finding Hearts honchos are thrilled to announce Season 1 of our small group ministries. Elder Tales, Fairy Tales for Adults. Reverend Matthew welcomes 12 people to meet at MVUU for 4 seasons, starting on Thursday, October 23rd at 6 p.m. That's Thursdays at 6 p.m. Show and Tell. Our facilitator Joanne Sorensen gathers 8 people here at our church house Wednesdays at 5 p.m. starting October 15th, which is just before choir. You could come to that and stay for choir. Okay. Tom Sawyer and Alice Hutchinson start their small group, Science and Spirit. They have room for 8 on Wednesday afternoons at 2 o'clock here at MVUU, and that starts on October 29th. And Explore the Poet Within with Ann Bowling and Alice Hutchison. They'll be meeting in individual homes for their small group of 8, Fridays at 10 a.m., starting on Halloween, October 31st. Starting on September 30th, this upcoming week, you can connect with Alice to sign up for the small group ministry of your choosing. And Tom, you have a message for us about MVUU leadership. Would you come and share?
You get a double dose of me today. I believe that pretty much every one of you, as at some point, or many of you have, had some kind of role in a nonprofit or a voluntary organization where you've played a key role to shape decisions, policies, and so forth. At MVUU, we have many needs for your talents. So we want you to be aware that we are sponsoring a leadership seminar on Saturday, this coming Saturday at 9:30 for a couple hours to talk about servant leadership. So I want to invite any of you that want to know about leadership opportunities here, and we have many, communications, membership, finance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, the board, et cetera, PAs, whatever. There are many roles to put your talents to work. We on the nominating committee, that's Ann Bowling, Summer, Eddie, and myself, invite you to this seminar to ask you to explore the role of servant leadership and how you might fit into that model. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. And we have one more, Renew UU. Reverend Matthew invites long-term participants and folks new to MVUU to join him for Renew UU session starting next Sunday, September 28th. These are your opportunity to learn more about our Unitarian Universalist faith and deepen your belonging to our congregation. In an open discussion format crafted from your questions and interests, he'll be talking about our covenant on September 28th, why each of us is at MVUU on October 5th, and how our MVUU institution functions on October 12th. These are excellent opportunities for you to grow your sense of membership or explore becoming a member of our own congregation at the next new member ceremony coming up on Sunday, October 19th. Please contact Reverend Matthew with any questions. And that's all the announcements I have.
That it?
I think that's it. We'd like to invite Tom. And Tom, would you come up to the table and join? And Linda? Can you come join us? Or there we go. And we hear our beautiful.
I didn't.
Well, then we can.
Never mind.
Which one?
No.
Please.
Okay. It's a little confused.
It's okay. I often am too.
The purpose of this community is to help its people grow. If you are here, and if the person next to you is who he was, if none of us has changed since the day we came in here, we have failed. The purpose of this community, of any church, temple, zendo, mosque, is to help its people grow. We do this through encounters with the unknown in ourselves and in one another, in the other, whoever that might be for us, however hard that might be, because these encounters have many gifts to offer. So may you go forth from here this morning, not who you were, but who you could be, and so may we all.
Thank you, dear. And thank you to everybody who's been here and who's come and shared themselves this morning. As always, a joy shared is a celebration for us all. And a burden shared makes that burden that much lighter for all of us. So as we go forth from wherever your own tradition calls you, I don't know if it's appropriate to do whatever it's appropriate to do, but according to your own tradition, let us all say, Amen, Amen, blessed be, may the force be with you, and my own favorite, live long and prosper.